Hey you, I'm the Queen of Shade. Welcome to the interview. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit my Cash App to support your favorite content creator. Now let's get to the interview. Mwah.
Let me tell you something. You're a bougie bitch and your mama is too. Said you're a bougie bitch and your mama is too. You're a bougie bitch and your mama is too. Said you're a bougie bitch and your mama is too.
Salutations, Dufos. This is your fabulous leader, the Queen of Shade, coming at you with another special presentation. I am moving full speed ahead, talking to amazing people, interesting people, artists, and, people from all walks of life. And I'm enjoying the conversations, and you guys are too. And having said that, I have someone else today that you need to meet. I'm going to give you a little background on him. This person is an entrepreneur. He is an exercise enthusiast, and he's also a daddy model. So we're going to find out what a daddy model does. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to my platform, Mr. Race Cooper.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. It's so great to be here on your show. I'm not sure, is this more a podcast, I guess. Podcast, video cast.
It's kind of like, it's for YouTube and my website, and it will go on my podcast. So it's kind of like all these things at once. Okay, you're an entrepreneur too. So when you create one piece of content, it should pay you multiple ways.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's what this is. I have this, it's going to go on YouTube, then it'll go on my podcast. And
Sure. I love it. I love the positivity.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with me today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm glad that you asked me. I was very curious to be on your show. And so when you finally asked, I was like, hey, got to do it. So, yeah.
Well, that's a good thing. I have been a fan of you for, oh my God, since I was a teenager. And you're going to laugh because, Race, in September, I'll be 40.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah. So I've been a fan of yours for a long time.
Wow.
And I just love your artist. Like, I love your artistry. I just love everything about you. And it's so great that I love that you say fitness enthusiast, because your body has always been something that has always, people could synonymize that with you. Like, it's like, okay, yeah, he's the one with the amazing body. He's the one with the amazing body. Yeah. So yeah, for a long time, I'm into, muscle guys and stuff like that. So
yeah, fitness has just kind of been a running theme in my life. Not kind of young age, like around 13, I started working out, and it just was one of those things that helped me kind of get through life and get through depression. And so it was a great kind of like source. And now that's just so a part of my life integrally. It's just kind of like you do, becomes a part of all these different aspects of me now, because just that one thing.
I was going to say that is so funny, because the great of us, you and other people, the great among us, we find our paths in life doing just things that we've always been doing. Right. I've always been doing this. I always sang. I'm a recording artist. I always sang. I did all of that stuff, but I did it off camera.
Right.
And then somebody tapped me and said, bitch, you can get paid for that. You can get paid for that. So I was like, oh, okay. And then I had to grapple with that whole idea of, can I get paid? Is it good enough? Can I get paid for it? Well, today the answer is yes, it is good enough.
I definitely had that battle for a long period of time. I started maybe at 18 being a gymnastics instructor.
Yeah.
And I love doing it because I love teaching kindergarten gymnastics right up to like adult gymnastics. I love the ability to have somebody that didn't believe that they could do a backflip and teach them how to do a backflip. Like, I love doing that. But at that young age, I was going to university, and I was around all these people that were, their aspirations were always like money driven, corporation. Like, everybody around me was kind of moving into this very professional white collar area. So I just didn't feel that teaching sports or teaching fitness was one of those things that would be
Okay.
thought of as like garnering a lot of income, like something
Yeah.
that would make my family proud. So
Yeah.
I kind of didn't focus on that. I went to television for a long period of time,
Yeah.
because I'm like, oh, I'm good at creating content. I'm good at writing. I'm good at um, acting and making funny jokes sometimes. So I'll put that together, and I moved into live television for a long period of time, and then I went to porn, and then I was like, well, now I'm done with this. I want to go back to the thing that I really liked and had fun with.
Well,
Uh,
yeah, of course. I could definitely see that because I mean, after you go and you create and you do these things, it's like, okay, like, I love that because it's like, what do you return to? It was funny that you started off and you said, this helped me through depression because this is very cathartic for me. I live with bipolar 1, PTSD, and acute anxiety disorder. So it was actually my psychiatrist and my therapist that suggested I do this.
yeah,
I'm
good.
sitting in their offices and laying on their couches and talking to them about my life. And like from day one, even when I was frazzled, because I like literally met my psychiatrist in the middle of a manic episode. So I was no good. But even then, I remember her asking me from day one, what are you going to do with your music? When are you going to put music out?
Right.
And she bugged me I've had therapy for 15 years. She
Good.
bugged me for
Good psychiatrist.
yeah,
Good one.
she got me together. She did. She got me together. Yeah, the drugs are a little strong, but yeah, she got me together. But no, every single time I saw her, because like I have a therapist that I see weekly. My psychiatrist I see monthly. So she just, she does more of the med check, make sure everything's okay, the blood test, make sure I don't have toxic levels of the medications that I take in my blood. So then she runs all the levels, she looks at that and she's like, okay, you're good. And then she asked me, a couple of questions, but it's my therapist that I see weekly. I've had a therapist weekly for 15 years. And sometimes some weeks it was twice a week and it's been 15 years straight. But she always said, what are you doing with your music? What are you doing with your music? She was actually the first person I gave a copy of my music to, because it was just like, okay, you said to do this. And okay, I did it. And then she's like, okay, now what are you going to do with it? And I hadn't thought that far ahead. And then it was like, oh, well, then I was forced, like I said, I'm an entrepreneur too. I was forced to study the industry. I was forced to figure out how to distribute. I was forced to worry about visuals. I was forced to do all of those things because when I was younger, I was going to sign with a reputable record label. Caught that in my throat. But I didn't like the fact that I wouldn't own my content. So that's kind of like why I left. So I find that you have to be careful when you're younger, because if you, like you said, if you deal with depression and things like that, people have a tendency to give you what you want so that they can control you, kind of manipulate you. So you got to be careful with that. I dealt with that, but I'm okay now. I'm okay now. Yeah. So back to you. So you turn around, you're done with all of that. Television, did you work on anything we know?
So the things that I worked on in television were in Canada.
Okay.
I worked.
I'm sorry, say that again. I missed that. It cut out. You're from where?
I'm from Toronto, Canada. So all of the things that I worked on in television would be Canadian production. So if there were, and that's hard for like an American audience to kind of like, oh, Canadian production. But the things that I worked on there was Much Music, which has now been taken over by MTV Canada. So essentially, I was working for MTV Canada for a long period of time, working everywhere from cable grapher up to Chiron to do graphics on the screen, but the music worked. So period of like late 90s, I was doing that. And then that moved into me working into news direction. And then I became a director for a morning news show and a producer for Toronto Star, which is it's like the Chicago Tribune of like Canada.
Okay.
Kind of like that level. And then after that, it was like commercials, infomercials, some small music videos, and then some larger productions of like documentaries or comedy series in Canada. So what I generally like, I was moving along in like producing, production assisting, segment producing, camera work, videographer. And then there's one period of time in which you would probably be able to see this because it's very easy to kind of Google this, is I was a host of Gay Travel Show for a year. So that was the first time that I went from behind the camera to in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And that was kind of jarring because I wasn't used to being in front of the camera and to talking and, you know, but it was, you know, people pushing me, just like a psychiatrist, like, you need to do this. Get going.
Yeah.
You're got a personality.
Yeah.
Shine.
Yeah.
Someone pushed me into actually doing an audition because they saw me at a party and they wanted me to be like a backup dancer for Queer as Folk that was being shot at the time. So I ended up being on Queer as Folk as like the background dancer at the club a lot with long dreadlocks spinning around. And then because I had an agent, he pushed me to go to this audition, and I went to the audition not really caring about it, but I'm like, okay, well, here's what I would do as a director and telling somebody to do this for this gay travel show. And so I, you know, did my version of hosting, and they gave me the show. So so I did traveling around. The show was called Bump, right? It's okay. And then I traveled mostly between America and Canada right after 9/11.
Okay.
So so there's shows of me in Texas, California, Louisiana, Montreal, Toronto. I think there was Chicago, New York in there. It was just a mixture of episodes of just seeing what was great as far as the circuit party in these cities,
Yeah.
as well as gay history in the cities and certain people that were like public figures.
Wow, Race, you've got credits. Like you've got what?
Yeah.
What Beyonce say? Stop the track, let me state facts. I told you, give me a minute and I'll be right back. You have some serious credits under your belt.
Yeah.
You have been, and I'm glad that I thank you for sharing that with me, because I don't think a lot of people know that. I don't think a lot of people knew even, because I always start off with, where are you from? But I didn't know that you were from Canada. And now it's kind of funny because Canadian men, especially Black Canadian men, they're so beautiful. You are the second Canadian Black man I have interviewed in a week.
Wow.
Yes, he was from Ontario. And the crazy thing is, he is a part of like Drag Race Ontario's Drag Race Canada's pit crew.
Right.
But on the side, he runs 18,000 programs where he goes into nursing homes. And he has a lot of animals, and he does shows for senior citizens. Like this was literally a couple days ago.
He's a saint.
No, but you trust me, honey, you're a saint to us too. You're a patron saint. We bow down. Trust me, we do.
I just have the horns on and better.
Right. Look, listen, horns never hurt nobody. Look, listen, horns never hurt nobody.
That's the truth.
Oh my God. So like literally, wow. So then you were able to transition from Canada and you came here, because I noticed now it says Oakland is home. So
yes,
you were able to come
home. So what happened is after I was working in television for a long period of time, I feel like I had worn out being in my hometown. Like Toronto is a great city. Like it's a big city. It's kind of like Chicago, right? It's very diverse. It's very metropolitan. But when you grow up in a city, you gotta leave it.
Yeah.
Right? Otherwise, you feel like you kind of do the same routine that you've always grown up with.
Yeah.
And if you're going to challenge yourself and kind of break out into something better, especially if you want to do something better, you kind of sometimes have to leave.
Yeah.
So I had my sights on San Francisco, because part of that gay travel show, I came to San Francisco.
Yeah.
And I totally fell in love with San Francisco. And so I made, connections with people, and I knew enough people in the industry after all that time working in it, that I was able to create my own production company in San Francisco when I first landed here. So I had my own production company. It was called Inferno Entertainment, and I started it to focus on just corporate videos, infomercials, commercials, like just some basic stuff, sometimes music videos if that was possible, but like lower end production. But I started that company in 2008, just before the crash happened.
Yeah.
So when the crash happened,
Yeah.
all of my vendors, everybody that had lined up to actually work for it, they went out of business.
Right.
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 So I had to close my doors.
Yeah.
Of the company that I just started, but my visa was tied to my company, so I kept the company, but it wasn't in operation for a while.
Right.
And I went into porn.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah. So wait, did you just go, okay, I want to stay in the US, I'll do porn? Like, how did that conversation happen? Because listen, you wait till you see the thumbnail that I'm picking for this video. They're gonna know you're hot. They're gonna know you're a hot ass motherfucking fire, and they're gonna be like, oh my God. So okay. Like, how did that happen?
Okay, so this is a transition, right? This is a kid that was very depressed.
Yeah.
Through fitness.
Yeah.
I'm good at fitness, starting to teach people fitness. So this ain't gonna make me money. Go into television, stay in the background of television, work my way up television. They throw me in the front, it's like, you're hot. Oh. Being there, I'm like, okay, I'm fine, but I'm gonna go and make my own production company, do that. And then all of a sudden that can't work. Like, well, they keep paying me for my body. Yeah. And I'm in San Francisco, which is like this huge hub of porn. Yeah. So I had all these friends that were like directors and porn stars at the time, and they were like, oh, this makes real good money, and like, if you don't care. So I thought, okay, well, let's see. And so I thought, maybe let's just do it for a couple of years. Don't think about, your sister having to see this, or your nephews having to see this, or anybody in your family having to see this. All right, just think about the fact that it's like, it puts money in the bank, food on the table, house over your head, paying for very expensive living in San Francisco.
Let me just interject right here, because I want them to understand that you didn't have, nor have you ever had, a tiny adult film career. Literally, let me tell you something.
I tried to make it small.
No. Literally, especially in an industry where it's more this and less of this.
Yeah. We know this, not this.
You were the guy. I need them to understand that. It was, this person and this person and this person and Ray Cooper. It was literally, and let me tell you something. It was like that for years.
Right.
Like for years, like literally. I remember this, there was some kind of campaign that came out, and it was like all the like famous, like high end, like they were like porn stars that were like on like the riding high, and you were a part of it. I can't remember if it was for Adidas. I forget what it was for. But anyway, you were
the Adidas wasn't me. I think I know what that shot was.
You know which one I'm talking about? But there was one with you. Can you correct me? Which one was it where you were in?
I'm trying to think of the large group one. There was some large group shots that were done for Magnitude, which is part of the Folsom campaign there.
Okay.
Right? So there was lots of that, and then there was an aspect where I was hired for a Hustle Ball in Berlin.
Okay, I think that's it. I think that's it. Like, I think that was it. Like
with like top from around the world. Like it was that was
that's what it was. And I literally had, listen, Grace, I had porn stars writing me then. Like, they chose him, they didn't choose me. And I didn't say to them, now mind you, because they were this too. And I'm not gonna say their names because
I didn't ask them.
Listen. And I would say to them, do you see him? Do you see him? Like, let me tell you, okay, so obviously you can tell I'm a fan. I've been a fan.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, like because I'll never forget when you burst onto the scene, and I'm just like because we didn't see that kind of Black man represented in porn before.
What would you describe that kind of Black man that I was? Because
Okay, now here we go.
Look at myself objectively than
Okay.
Other people.
Here we go. So here we go. I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you.
Give it to me.
I'm gonna give it to you good.
Okay.
So what I'm talking about is a very muscular, athletic build Black man that is not too macho, too headstrong and bull crazy to bottom.
Yeah.
Or to be, because you did more than that. You did like the submissive scenes, you did the dom scenes, you did a lot of different scenes. And it was like, here we are, we have this very masculine archetype. Right. And it wasn't like, I don't do this, I don't do that, I don't like. Okay, here we go. I got prime example. Right. I got a prime example. I don't kiss on the lips. Like, like that kind of stuff. Like when you, that's what I loved about your work, because literally from the start of from the start of a scene with you, you were like, it was high octane. Yeah. Like I even saw, like, literally you could see your co-stars excited, but they had to catch their breath because they couldn't keep up. They couldn't keep up. Like, and you could see that. And especially me, I analyze, like I've talked to porn stars all over the world. Like it's my thing. So I could see it in them. Like, it was like, oh my God, like they knew if they were doing a scene with you, it was going to be intense from the beginning to the end.
And that's just the way that I have sex. It's just like, I'm intense, right? And
but everybody doesn't have sex like that. My God.
That's the way I have sex. And there's a degree of acting, because of course I worked in television.
Right.
Like that. But
you couldn't fake this. No. What you was doing.
Make a connection.
Yeah.
For real, because it's the whole purpose of porn is for you to not only be a voyeur and watching the sexual connections between people, but to be seeing yourself within that.
Yes.
As well. And so the more I can connect into that scene, the better everybody's going to enjoy it.
See, and get it. So many stars always say, oh, I go on autopilot. I'm not there.
That makes it boring though, because you stick to the same thing all the time. And the best thing about porn was being the different kind of actors and models that I would get to work with. They would bring something different, and I would just, it would be kind of like, it would kind of like doing melody with them, and be like trying to like take their note and then match it in some way, right? So you're trying to like make your own song together, right? Each and every time, like, okay, they're a little different this way. Oh, this excites them differently. Let's see where that goes.
To match people's energy is very difficult. What's your birth sign?
Sagittarius.
Okay, you can do it. I had a best friend for 13 years, and he loved sex. And he was the same way. He could get it. One of my favorite scenes, I still have it. Yes, I do. It's one of my go-tos. It was like a scene where you were playing like a stripper, and there like you guys, and like it starts on the pole, and then you end up on a like recliner.
Yeah.
And that's it, just like the energy race, I haven't seen it in porn since.
Really? I mean, that's what I think when I did that with Raging Stallion, that was the first time. Like, they'd always known that I'd been a dancer as well.
Yeah.
Right? Like dancing has been like an aspect, again, like fitness. It's part of it, but it's like, oh, let's do this thing. It's like exercise, but now I'm being funky and funny and sexual on stage. But because I've been so much of a go-go boy for like things like Queer as Folk and on like different circuit parties and stuff, the people at Raging Stallion like, we know you can dance. Let's like do something with this, right? More than you doing like, we move into it, so you can start with dancing and then move into something full sexual. Yeah. Give the fantasy. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, go for it. So I'm surprised that hasn't been done again. I applauded when I got to see Lil Nas X like doing the spinning down the stripper pole. I'm like, yeah, Yeah. You got it.
Right. No, and it's just, it's so crazy because it's missing. It's missing today. It's
Yeah.
missing everything. Like nowadays, if you look at,
Yeah.
they don't perform.
Yeah.
They think that, okay, I'm having sex, I have the equipment, I know how to use it, and
Right.
that's enough.
Right.
It's not, and this is the thing, like you say acting, but no, it's who you are, especially as a Sagittarius. You're naturally theatrical.
Yeah.
Let's just say it, like you're naturally theatrical.
Right.
So like it's on another level. And you said something too, especially be like I said, not a lot of this at the
Right.
circuit parties,
Right.
being selected and booked to work the circuit parties. We
Right.
don't get that. We
Right.
don't get that. Like trust me,
Right.
I'm an aficionado. I know. So
Yeah,
like,
no,
we
yes,
don't
you
get
have
that. So for you, like for so many years, you were the go-to guy.
yeah. I forget these things.
Yeah, and I'm here to listen. I'm here to praise you and remind you. I'm here to praise you and remind you because what you did was make history. When yes, get it. Somebody gonna do a documentary, and when they do a documentary, you will be called because you have to be.
Okay, so now you're helping me to understand a lot more when I meet fans.
Yeah.
You don't know how much you inspire me to do this thing and to be true to myself and not to be fearful of that. And I'm just like thinking like, I was just having fun doing porn. Come on, like it wasn't that big.
Oh.
Come on.
Much more, much more, much more,
Yeah.
much. When I tell you much more, you opened the doors. Okay, let me just say this. Let me just get this out of the way. We have more of this in the industry because of you.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm not sure if that's because of me, but
It is.
know.
It is. Because this is the thing. You showed up, you got the job done, you did it effortlessly, and it was so explosive that it made, listen, I'm not talking about the studios. I'm talking about with White Pulses. They said, okay, we can see more of this.
Right.
We can,
I use
okay.
more mixer and more
Exactly. Like we can
more in different roles. Like I noticed that after me, they stopped doing the thug stuff.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm not doing thug stuff. You gotta know.
Exactly. Exactly. You're like, listen, I'm a boy from Toronto. I'm not doing the thug stuff.
Like, why didn't you put me in the doctor role?
Right. Right. Like, and that's the thing. And they did that for you. And it's like, well, you did that for you because you just, I tell you from like, I like with most porn, okay, porn is exciting. I actually watch your work. I watch because it is a display of such vibrato. It's just like, wow. And I even love, and get this, vice versa. It allowed us to look at your co-stars and go, okay, we can allow this.
Right.
We can stand this.
Yeah.
This is going somewhere.
Right.
It was integration.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm seeing what you're saying. You could actually go down this path where like, okay, we can get into the scene now.
Yeah.
If there's someone like driving this.
Yes. And it was so great because we know where they noticed you, we noticed your co-stars. Because you were just like, it worked. I don't think there'll ever be a porn career like yours ever again. I'm thinking I have many.
I really hope there will. I mean, that's the thing that I found when I needed to leave.
Yeah.
That I felt like, I felt like I was becoming a little bit of a token, right? Like I felt like
but you weren't our token, you were our jewel. You were our jewel in the crown.
But that's what it started feeling like to me. And I felt like if there was going to be some more Black individuals to be able to get more opportunities, I needed to step aside and I needed to move on. Because I was like, I thought that I would be doing it for 2 years tops, because that was the average lifespan of any porn star was like 2 years, 2.5 years.
Right.
And it's like 4.5.
Yeah.
And that felt like a long time.
Yeah.
And around 4.5, like I had met my current husband.
Yeah.
Like I was starting to think about, hey, getting my certification in sports medicine,
Yeah.
so I could go back into the field of training people. And when I finally kind of got my certification and was starting to train people, I'm like, well, I don't think I really need this anymore.
Right.
Like, I felt like I'd done everything that I possibly could. I did every fetish I possibly could.
Yeah.
Did I do lingerie? Yeah, no, I think I did lingerie.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did lingerie. Like I did everything that I possibly could. I worked with every star that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I went to cities that I wanted to explore and meet, and I met a ton of amazing people. Some people that became very close to my, as in family, and some people that I would rather not talk to again.
Yeah.
But still, it was like an amazing experience. It helped my growth. It helped my kind of sexual exploration for myself. It gave me an amount of confidence that I probably hadn't had before.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'm like, well, it's time to like really grow up now, because this is, as much as it is like a job that I was looking for to pay bills, it did kind of stop me from being able to move forward into a long-term career or like life, because that's the kind of job that is like gig economy, right? You're always like having to audition. Every job you have is like an audition for the next job, right? It wasn't a solid work week of like, and doing your taxes like every year, like, so I wanted to move to towards that. If I was gonna start to have a family with my husband and like make that happen, like I needed to move towards that. So that's why I've decided, like, if I'm gonna do the training, I better make a company at the same time, because I need to move to a direction that I'm not just employing myself, but I'm starting to employ other people.
Yeah.
And I can build on that. And from there, I can have like a company that I'm in charge of. It doesn't matter what my porn history is. No one's gonna try to fire me because I'm the boss.
But like nobody, no, like, and that's why I do these interviews, and that's why I asked a lot of adult film stars, because I have this thing about me. It's a way of humanizing you guys, because I need people to see past the fantasy. I need people to see that you provide the fantasy and you do it super well. But at night, you still have to go home and your bills need to be paid. And, you have a life that you have to live. It is not, and I love that, because, yes, all porn stars, you guys, you have to like sex if you're going into the business. Yeah, but you're not having sex every day, all of the time. That's what I love to display. I love to display. I'm glad that I'm getting you now where you have stepped away, because you stepped away on such a high note. Like, it's such a high note. There was not no shame or anything like that. I even was like, where'd you go? Like,
you learn from the divas, you go out on a high note. Right? Every diva does. Like, okay, right. No more. I give it to you. Let me get the rest to take these shoes off.
Right. And that, and it was an illustrious career. And, I've seen a lot of porn stars move into areas, and that's what I want people to understand, being humanized. A lot of porn stars are artists, actors. Very good actors. I've seen many do acting roles. I've seen a couple on television now and moving into film, So, and that's the thing. Like, I need people, and this is why I will always do these interviews. I don't care what I'm doing in my life. I need people to understand that sex work is real work. I need them to understand that. I need them to understand that it is a job. Oh, right. Sex work is real work.
Sex work is real work.
Right.
Real.
Right. And they need to understand that, because some days you go to work, you don't want to be there. Okay. All right. But I'm so glad that you did go out on a high note. And not only that, but you were able to find love, because get this, for all of us, any of us, I see no difference. If we work in the entertainment industry, if we are before the public, it's very hard to find a significant other that can handle the attention that we get, the attention and the demand. It's
Right.
very hard. So I find that, and what I love is because I'm sensing, I have gifts. I'm sensing that, with you were already stepping away. So it wasn't a situation where you had to step away for your husband. Like, oh, I'm doing this, for you. And then, God forbid something happens and then you return to it. Like, people put their careers on hold. And that's not the type of partner that you need. You need a partner that is going to be there for you. Or like in your sense, you turn around, you started your own company, you're in fitness, you're doing that, you've moved on with your life, ready to have a family, having a family. And now it's like, okay, that was what I did. And what's kind of crazy too? I realized that you said 4 years. They worked your ass for 4 years, because I swear you was working for like, oh my God, they worked your ass. But you know what it was? I told you, you were it.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure what the
Of
number
scenes.
of actual DVDs that I
Yeah.
was on, I think was around like 85.
Yeah.
But the number of scenes, including what was online, was
Yeah.
probably around 120 in those
Yep.
4 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And even in that, it's like, our black young men, like, I just pray that they take note. Like, my thing is, like me, you never get into a career and not study who came before you.
Right.
You always study who came before you, and you
Right.
study what they did to triumph and what they did when they failed.
Right.
And for me, I got the opportunity, because I said I'll be 40 in September.
Yeah.
So at 22, I got the opportunity to go to Paris and model for 6 months. And then I had to come back here because it didn't pan out the way I wanted it to. And I got into music, and I studied Michael Jackson. I studied Prince. I studied Whitney. I studied Tina Turner. I studied the greats, so that I would know how to fashion an image and a product that would make you want more.
Yeah.
Make you want more. And when I say that, I mean each one of those people are individuals, and that's what I learned.
Right.
And it's the same way with the porn industry. It's the same and with all film and television and movie. Like, they didn't hire you to be the token. They hired you because you were Race Cooper.
Right.
They hired you for that. They
Right.
knew, okay, we need to knock this scene out of the box. We need to make sure we hit our quota for this, quarter. We need Race, because he's going to make sure he's going to bring it in.
Right.
And that, that's why I'm there, and I'm giving you that, because I want you to understand you really changed so many lives. You impacted so many lives. So now, yes, you are very welcome. You are very welcome. So my thing is, I'm hoping that now, when you are met with fans, you'll understand a little better what you did, what you
I
did.
appreciate you for helping me understand that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I had some idea, but it's very right. It's very hard to like look at myself objectively, because
Yeah.
like there was so much that was
Yeah.
going on in that sphere.
Yeah.
And then of course, like, time has passed. Like,
Yeah.
my husband and I have been together now for 10 years.
Right.
How long it's been, almost since I was in that industry. So it's taken me a time to really kind of assess what that was like. And now that, talking with you about it, I really can get a full kind of understanding of what it was that I was doing, and what translated to fans.
Yeah.
Because it's still, the funny thing is, sometimes I run into fans that don't recognize me right away, because beard, silver hair. Like,
I don't know how, because I recognize you immediately. I don't care where you are. Get this, you don't even have to. You could literally. They could show me a picture of just your chest, and I would know who it was. I would know it was you.
Right.
I would know it was you.
But the funny thing is that once in New Orleans, somebody just like, they asked me what my name is, and because I was there for doing a conference on racism in porn and education, I told him my name, and it's like, it's Race Cooper, and he screamed. And he's like, I know your name.
Oh my God. Isn't that jarring? Isn't that jarring when they do that? But you, like, that's what I need people to understand. Human beings, we are sexual creatures.
Yeah.
It is how we connect. It is even how we say hello sometimes. It is
Good.
how we get to know each other. Literally, attraction governs everything that we do. Literally, when a person meets someone new, they already ask, is this someone I could go to bed with? That happens in your mind. It literally happens. They assess how hot you are
Right.
without you saying anything. Like
Right.
that is what happens between humans. And what people need to understand about men is women are more stimulated by touch. Men are stimulated by sight. You know, I've been interviewing some of the gay for pay guys, and you know, even those guys have come to the forefront now because their clients are men.
Right.
They got girlfriends and everything, and they are pushing their products to men because I tell people all the time, men watch porn,
Right.
men buy porn.
Right.
We do that. So, you know, with these OnlyFans and things like that, they know now that the men are their patrons. And I watch them, even the straight guys, I watch them cater to their audience as they should. Like you'll see them now, like now they'll be straight and now all of that. Okay. So I turn around and there's a couple that I follow incognito. They don't know I follow them. And because I don't tell. Like my porn life is like the secret life of porn. Like I'm like that. So turn around. Right. So what happens is, did you say follow you?
I said not like me.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I'm like, you don't have one. But anyway, I'm like, wait a minute, I would have known that. Oh, you was about to stump me. See, he's about to make me lose my whole face on camera. I'm like, what? Wait a minute. But no, I noticed that they'll buy toys, they'll buy dildos now. They're catering to men. Men are their clients. I know a guy who is straight, who understood that men love to look at him. And he literally last year made $1 million on OnlyFans.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was in
off and like stuff and like
yeah, like and get it. He was on television. So he came under a lot of scrutiny and everybody was, you know, in his face, but he rode out the storm. He rode out the storm because he was a model. So he rode out the storm and it paid off for him. He is one of the most beautiful men that I know. And I'm going to tell you his name. His screen name is Flashman Wade. And everybody, like people, this man is gorgeous. This man is one of us. He's gorgeous, dreads, and he's into crystals, and he's just the happy, like I mean it, like the most jovial man you could ever, you know, be around. I know people that have been around him and they're like, yo, his energy is otherworldly, next level. He's so kind, he's so giving, and he was able to understand that men liked his ass, men liked his body, and he catered and made $1 million doing it. I'm trying to get him to interview with me. We've talked every now and then, but he's a busy guy. But like literally,
do that interview, do it.
Right? No, but like he's literally one of my favorites. And there were so many guys because you know he doesn't. With him being a heterosexual, he doesn't do too much communication with the gay community. Like he'll talk to us, but he's not going to do the one-on-one private conversations where we get to start asking him, oh, how much for your underwear? How much for your socks? Like, you know, like he's not into that. So they get mad at him and they say, oh, he doesn't like gays. He's against gays.
It's a fun side project. It's always good.
Like he's not against gays. It's work. And I tell people it's work. Just like I tell people, I just issued a statement on Twitter. I'm like, listen, the internet is my job, my work. I am not about to argue with you while I'm at work.
Right.
Take that shit to the street. I'm not about to argue with you while I'm working. So
and there's a separation that needs to happen, right?
Yes.
For your own
yes.
For your
Sanity.
For your own kind of like ability to be able to decompress out of work, you kind of need to have that kind of buffer.
Yeah, you do.
So I can always understand that if he does this work online, sometimes there might be a certain point in which he doesn't want to kind of go too far. So it's like coming more into his life. because, people ask me, because my company is still in San Francisco, but I
Right,
live now in Oakland.
right.
Do I want to get clients closer to where I live in Oakland? I'm like, no, I
Mhm,
want that separation. I want to be able to
mhm.
come home to Oakland,
Yeah,
be around my peeps, and then go to work,
yeah.
and then take the money of my white people in San Francisco.
Yes, yes. I love the way you said that. But it's true. It's true. So tell us about your company now. We can leave that alone because we done praised you. Now,
Right.
now tell us about this company because my God, like this body, you wait till they see. I already know like the picture's burnt into my mind. I already know which picture I'm going to use. So tell us
So,
about this company.
so I started SF Squared. SF Squared is um, 4 words that are core tenets for the company: smart, fit, safe, fun.
Yes.
And I wanted those there because I kind of saw like the trend of CrossFit and like, well, this is great activity for a lot of people, but not always safe. And I
Yeah.
wanted to kind of instill sometimes some safety into training education and also trying to make exercises that were effective, being smarter about your body and your choices, and just generally having fun with clients.
Yeah.
And so keeping that as kind of the core for the company, I wanted to develop personal training, my style.
Yeah.
And then from there, be able to teach other trainers that philosophy. It grew pretty quickly within like a couple of years of me training that I got investors wanting to invest in my company and make it bigger. And so I thought, okay, natural step. I've got a lot of influx of cash. I should build a gym. And so I was in the process of building the gym when COVID hit.
Why did I know that shoe was getting ready to drop? I knew that shoe was getting ready
Okay,
to
so
drop.
you can understand second period of time in which like I started a company and then it's going really well and then something like kind of drops. But this is the first time that I was like, I'm not gonna crumble. I'm not gonna like close this down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pivot.
Yeah.
And so my pivot was to start a mobile gym because with COVID, I still had people that wanted to train. They were kind of tired of doing the Zoom calls and training. They wanted first person experience, but it made more sense that I should be able to transport all the equipment with training over to them. So I looked into it. I found a vehicle. I got some more influx of cash through a government grant. And was able to furnish the first mobile gym for SF Squared. But now it travels everywhere between Oakland down to San Mateo.
Wow.
And it's a premium rate for people to have personal training either at their home or at their office or at a public park, anywhere they really, really want to. So it's given a lot of choice for COVID for people that didn't want to go back in the gym, which was fantastic. But the thing that was more surprising about it was that not only that there's people that don't want to go back to the gym, but there were people that were never serviced for personal training before because the gym wasn't for them or they were never catered to. So pregnant mothers became a big one for me right away because for the first time, they didn't have to be concerned about leaving too far from home. And after the kid was born, within 3 weeks, they could be training with me at their home and they wouldn't have to get a babysitter.
You know what I'm hearing? Do you
But
know what I'm hearing? First of all, see, you're a genius, first of all. Let's start there. You're a genius because that is needed. So like, get it. Celebrities want that.
Right.
You know?
So it became more like that more high-end clients, people that were definitely in the higher income bracket and San Mateo started hiring me more because it's just like the aspect of this, everything that you need comes to you, even if they had their own gym. Like if there's equipment that they didn't have, I had it. And basically I could tell them, okay, this is the thing that you want to probably purchase. This is what you want to utilize for your training. It became a new factor for film productions, for this to be like an already ready gym for actors to utilize on set. This became something more accessible for those with disabilities, who didn't feel always comfortable going to the gym environment because I could go to their garage and we could set up and do whatever they wanted. So it had a lot more legs to it than I fully envisioned, but it was just a COVID pivot that just kind of expanded. So now as the company is growing, I am training new trainees, hopefully get them fully trained by the end of the year, and then it'll be time to purchase a second vehicle.
Yeah.
And then I have a partnership with a studio that is in San Francisco called Trainability, and we're going to expand together to work on class studios as well as in studios. And then after I've been able to make my own SF Squared studio as well, we'll start franchising the idea of a studio with mobile gym fleets that will pop up in different cities. So, so this is how the company is going. It's going really well.
I was getting ready to ask you, have you been featured in Forbes yet? Because it's coming.
Oh, yes. Although, like, every time that I'm on the street and people see the band and they see me, it's like, oh, I got to meet you before you became a mogul. I'm like, okay, this is great. So you need this energy. I'm like, I've yet to have, and this is the interesting thing, because we talk about media coverage. They like this.
Yeah.
They don't like this, right? So I've seen media coverage of porn stars that moved on in their careers by Instinct magazine, by Advocate, by Out magazine. They've interviewed all these other people. Never interviewed me. Never.
Oh. Oh no. Well, let's hope that they see that. I'm gonna send this to them. Let's hope that they fix that, because you like no, like, but I can't, you know what it is? I can't let that go. Like, it is so sad when you don't get the support that you deserve, you know?
Right. But we, you know, as Black people, we're not in this always for getting the pats on the back.
Yeah.
Right? We're doing it for ourselves, and we're doing it for our families. We're doing it for the people that are close to us.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm sure, you know, our new Judge Jackson had to do the exact same things as all of us. Right? And, you know, finally she's gotten to that point.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to her.
Yes.
But, you know, she probably had to be dealing with a lot of lack of appreciation and accolades along the way.
And get it. She's still going to deal with them sitting on the bench from the other judges.
Right. Right. So we gotta just, I care a little bit, but I don't care a lot.
You know what it is?
I'd like the media coverage. I'd like the media coverage for the same reason that you said, you know, what I did made an impact on you. Right? I want at least people to see that if you do porn, it ain't the end.
Right.
It's into something else.
Yeah.
And that you too can create your own company. Yeah. Be your own boss. Yeah. Help people. Yeah. Create something new. Expand ideas.
You know what's so crazy? Don't even, I'm glad that you said you don't even care, because the coverage is going to come from Good Morning America. The coverage is going to come from Wall Street, like, you know, Time magazine, like Forbes, like that, that's what happens. Like, that's what happens. And that's fine. That's fine. Like, you know, even in my career, like, cause we have this in common, and we have our own businesses. And we like that, and we facilitate that. And the reason why I started my business was because I couldn't work a normal job due to my mental illnesses. I needed to be able to do something that I could do naturally without breathing. And I do this to excess. Like, I used to do these 60-second like inspiration videos. I call them shade videos because of my name, but they were more so like empowerment videos. I did 22,000 of them in 6 years. So yes, you know. And then I'm making other content on top of it. 4 albums. Like, I'm doing, you know. But the thing is, right. Right. But this is the thing. I work for myself. I'm not affiliated with the Grammy Academy. I will never win a Grammy. I will never win an Emmy. I will never win an Oscar. I will never win any of those.
Never win a Tony.
Never win that either. I'll never win that either. No, because my thing is, I'm not subscribed to these institutions. I'm the bad girl. I left them and started my own shit. They told me it would never work. They told me I was crazy for walking away from lucrative deals. and I'm out here doing it myself. Now, mind you, I don't get all the big dressing rooms and all of that stuff. That's fine, but
Right.
I'm doing really well. And I'm
Good.
happy, and my inner peace is so high. And I mean, look at
So
it like,
radiating.
oh, thank you.
Like,
You. Thank you. And and this is another thing. Like, I'm forfeiting all of that stuff anyway because I want the European Union. I
yeah,
want to go to
yeah.
Europe. And I couldn't do that if I had to.
Totally celebrate.
Exactly. So I just know, like even when you were discussing that, I just knew that your acknowledgments are going to come from like Forbes because first of all, when you make a shitload of money,
Yeah.
the government, they want to know about it. So
Yeah.
Forbes is like, okay, we need to go.
My accountant has been very impressed with me.
Yeah, you're doing like, and you know what's so funny, Race? I've had many stories come to this platform. Yours is one to be celebrated.
Thank you.
Do this, do this, do this, do this.
Okay.
Yours is one to be celebrated. You're kicking ass.
Thank you.
You're doing an amazing job. And like you said, this is life after porn. It didn't destroy who you were.
Yeah.
I see a fully functional, fully engaged entrepreneur sitting in front of me.
Yeah.
And you you had my respect from before. Now you really have my respect because the idea is genius. You can go anywhere. You can go anywhere. You like literally mobile gym.
Yeah. If you want to have your workout at the beach, you can have your workout at the beach.
Yeah. On their stretch of beach that they own.
Right.
With their house sitting on the beach, and they got their own private beach, and you out there working out the mom and the dad and the nanny.
Whatever,
But what I like is with your idea, it opened you up to wealth. It opened you up to higher end clients. And that's exactly what my job does, because I also offer mentoring, but you got to be able to afford me. Like, I'm doing this, but it's for 60 minutes with me. I call you like this on the phone. It's $250. It's $250. My psychiatrists don't even charge that much. But me, and that's just an introductory rate. When I first started, it was $50. And then my grandmother, who's my number one supporter, and the reason I was even able to launch my career was she was an educator for over 40 years. And then when she retired, she handed me her retirement check. Yeah. So, and the crazy thing is now it's successful, but I was worried 4 or 5 years ago because I'm like, I got to give this woman back her money. This is her retirement. But she did.
When you're an entrepreneur, it's like it's always a roller coaster, right?
Yes. Had some good times. I've had some bad times.
It keeps kind of going up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what's so crazy? It is. So I'm happy, I'm healthy, we're good, we're thankful. It's so crazy. Like she's my best friend. And we've had, like, COVID was hard for us too. COVID, strapped, like, all financially, it strapped us so bad. I had one LLC, it went out of business.
Yeah.
I had to wait until last year. I want to say, wait, it's March. Yeah, last year sometime. And I started a new one. Started a new one. And it was difficult. It was very difficult. I didn't know what to do. And I'm one of those people where work balances me. So I was suicidal. I didn't know what to do. And my therapist and my psychiatrist, they worked so hard, but I needed the experience because I needed to know that even without my work, I had value.
Right.
I had value as a human being. So that's why the experience had to happen. Because I believe that nothing in our lives is by mistake. We need every single thing to happen the way that it happened for us to be fully self-expressed, fully self-actualized human beings. So it went out a bit, COVID, and it's not over. You know that they just reported 5 million new cases in the UK.
Yeah, we have to bear it down because these will.
It's coming.
Happening. Yeah,
it's coming.
Keep that mask handy. but
Yeah.
keep your friends close while you can.
Yeah.
Enjoy your time before the
Yeah.
next shows happen.
Yeah, because it's coming. It's
Yeah.
coming. It really
Um,
is.
we didn't get to talk about
Oh, well, we can. What you mean we didn't get to talk about it? What you talking about? I'm not running.
yeah, we didn't get to talk about my daddy modeling.
See now, see, you I like you. You're a Sagittarius. I was getting ready to go there. So since you said it, you segued. Now, I have never seen someone actually advertise that they're a daddy model. So explain to me what a daddy model is and how you got into it.
Well, I think I described it as daddy model because I'm older. I'm 48.
That's not old.
Yeah, when you're 2 years to 50, you're not really spring chicken, right? So
but this body is better than some 25-year-olds.
For me, putting the term daddy model was me not taking myself seriously as a model.
Okay.
Right? I don't have an agent. And the modeling that I do is kind of mostly exclusively for Blade and Blue, which is a local menswear catalog here in the Bay Area. And I know the designer and the photographer, and they always want me to showcase and be their underwear model as well as for their clothing line. So I'm mostly on their website in a lot of series posts. And then every once in a while, people will usually, some artists will have me be some sort of dom daddy in some sort of artistic impression of photography, or kind of like in a kind of older male role of himbo, pinup boy kind of look. So I'm kind of like, okay, well, I'm not really a model. I'm a model in the sense that I do get paid to model.
Listen. Most models don't. Most models don't. Wait a minute. Most models don't. Okay.
Right, I get paid to model, but I can't take myself too seriously as model because I use it kind of to keep myself in shape. Right? It's one thing. It's very easy for me to motivate other people and get them involved in fitness. It's hard for me to keep myself on track and keep myself consistent. So sometimes having like a modeling shoot every few months, or having like I get a dancing gig at a party every few months. Like I'm like, okay, I can't keep going on the cookies this week. I gotta like calm down on the ice cream. I'm like, okay, get back to my fitness. Oh, let's do some running. So that I can keep myself relatively still in some semblance of shape in between shoots. And like, I'll give myself sometimes a splurge or a sweet tooth, like treat, but invariably I've got to keep myself and maintain my physique for the next thing that's coming out. And that's why I utilize the daddy model. It's like, it's part of me to like keep me on track.
I love it though. I love it because, and you already know this. For some reason, we don't even have to be younger, because I'm 40 in September.
Right.
The idea of a mature man is just so inviting. It's so inviting. We love that. Like, I was going to ask when the calendars were coming out, because I mean seriously, with real, like with you doing what you do, because so many, and not even just calendars, that's the start, but I'm really thinking of the 9x12 coffee books.
Yeah.
The really big coffee book where you turn and it's just image after beautiful image after beautiful image. Like, and you can sell that thing for top dollar. You can sell that thing for top, and get it. People will buy it because of your fame and because of your physique.
Yeah.
They will buy them.
Maybe someday with the documentary.
Yeah. yeah, because literally, yeah, when you release the documentary, they need to have a note right in there, like, and this book is available right now.
I forgot the name of it.
This book is right now. Like, no, like that is so amazing. And I just want to applaud you because your body is amazing. You have maintained a really beautiful body. And like you said, and I want to say this too, especially about fashion modeling. I know that you don't take yourself too seriously, and that's good because it gives you a lighthearted approach to what you're doing. But in high fashion, men work more as they age.
Yeah.
It's as they age. Women have the short shelf life from 14 to 21, and they pray that their career goes longer, but men actually work longer as they age because they like a man of being distinguished, a distinguished gentleman. They start with the, you'll do the modeling for the bifocal, not bifocals, but the glasses, eyewear, and then there's the watches, timepieces, and the jewelry, and like there's
Then you're driving the Volvo.
Yeah, well, and not even just that, but like then you see, like even with Polo, and every now and then they feature distinguished gentlemen because, but in fashion, you work. I interviewed several international fashion models, and they're all over 40 and working, still working. Then one has been working since he was 15 and has never stopped. Never stopped.
Amazing.
Never stopped. No.
All right. Well, maybe for me, but right now, daddy model.
Yeah. Well, my thing is keep doing it and keep posting those pictures on Instagram and everything. So for your business, for people that want to check this out, because I have a whole bunch of people that watch me, I got to do my job, make sure we do my job. Do you have a website where we can go and see?
Yes. So the website for SF Squared is Get SF Squared. So it's GETSFSQUARED. .com. So it's the best way to get information, but you can just Google SF Squared and it'll usually pop up. And the same thing for the Twitter and the Instagram. It's all Get SF Squared.
Okay. Now, since we're on in the business of sharing social media, now tell everyone where they can find you on social media, because it's important for you to keep a social media presence. It'll help. It'll help with your business.
So my Instagram handle is the only Race Cooper, and I had to change that because after a while there's just too many people copying my name. So the only Race Cooper is my Instagram handle. On Twitter, however, my Instagram handle is Race Cooper, the number 4, REAL. Race Cooper for real. So that's how you handle me on Twitter. You can find most of the links for all my stuff on Linktree though, Linktree/Race Cooper for anything. But those are the main things to get in contact with me if you ever want, or follow my funny tweets or my Instagram pictures.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure I put everything underneath the video so you don't even have to worry. It'll all be there. Excellent. So give me 3 words that inspire you.
3 words that inspire me. So I think the humility has been a big one.
Yeah.
And it's something that I think was instilled in me by my aunt, because she was the same. Like she would cook large meals for everybody. She would take care of people. She was kind to everybody. She always looked for the good in everybody.
Yeah.
But she never really wanted to get any kind of credit for that. And I think that for her, it was more about, she instilled with me making this kind of construction of a sentence was that it's more impressive for other people to talk about you than for you to talk about yourself.
Yeah.
And so that just kind of hung with me for a long time, that, if I'm doing really well, people will know about it.
Yeah.
Right? I don't need to say it. I can just focus on what's making me happy or what creatively drives me.
Yeah.
And right now my creativity is mostly in training individuals. Sometimes in my photography of what I put on Instagram, and sometimes a little bit of writing jokes on Twitter. That's it right now, because it's all I have time for.
Right.
But I'd like to expand my creativity more. And so creativity would probably be my second word.
Yeah.
Because that's humility. And then the other thing that is a very big one for me is compassion.
Yes. Yes.
Because, I always feel like this world doesn't have enough. And it's the one thing that us as humans, before there was any archetype of money or gender or anything, if there was compassion, nothing would be outside of our reach.
Right. We could accomplish so much together, but we miss the mark because we're all apart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think those are my three. The three ones you asked for, just three, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good.
Grace Cooper, thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
Oh, thank you for having me. This conversation was fun, exciting, enlightening. I didn't know what to expect. Oh my God.
No one ever does. No one ever does, but because I do it that way, because everyone that I bring to this platform, I want them to see, they get scared because they're like, okay, the name says Shade, so she's gonna cut me and cut me and cut me. Ask me questions that I have.
Opposite. It's the complete opposite. You're misleading people by your name.
Yes. And get it. I find that in entertainment, that's what you want. You people work so hard for that. Like, it's like people, because I own the trademark, the Queen of Shade. So it's like people are like, oh my God, she's the Queen of Shade, the Queen of Shade, the Queen of Shade. She's evil, she's mad. And then they watch what I do. They look at my work. They look at how I portray myself, or even when I'm out in public and people notice me and they're like, okay, so your shade is actually not shade like shade. It's shade like a tree. It's like a tree sheltering us and protecting us. And and my thing is, and I asked my grandmother, because sometimes I pull out my official certificate where it says my trademark and the number and has the emblem on it from the patent office, and I just look at it and I look at my grandmother and I'm like, how the hell did we get this in a world where they're always calling certain celebrities, certain musicians, Queen of Shade? Nobody thought to get this name trademark. And my grandmother says to me all the time, that's because it wasn't for them, it was for you.
Yes.
She says that to me all the time. It was meant for you. And I love showing people that it's not what they expect. It's love, it's compassion, it's honor. Like I said, it's uplifting, it's enlightening. That's that's all I do. That's all I do in everything that I do. So thank you so much. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard the vocal stylings of Mr. Grace Cooper. Say goodbye, but don't go anywhere. I'm mad you just froze. Say goodbye. He's a goofball. Sagittarius. That's why we get along. I'm a Libra. We get along. All right, he said bye. So did you enjoy? I hope you did. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and don't forget to cash at me at the Queen of Shade. I am your favorite content creator, right? Right. You want to see more of this content, right? Right. Cash at me. I love you. Mwah.
I've got my black stilettos on. Don't you make me take them off. I'm assuming first position. Gonna show you I'm a boss. I've been given 60 seconds just to put my thing down. I'll have you wanting my stilettos by the time I turn around. Turn that TV down.